Running ads is a really broad topic with loads of touch points, and it can get overwhelming really fast. Sometimes you get to a point where you're just doing things to see what works. There's also a lot of bad players out there giving advice that isn't exactly accurate. So it's really hard to tell who really knows what they're talking about or who's just full of bullshit. In this video, I want to approach things from a fundamental standpoint. Frameworks for how to think about ads that would help you make the right decisions when it comes to running them. As a marketer or a business owner, being able to make the right decisions and the right calls in high-stakes situations is the biggest value driver for your company or a company you work with. My name is Steven, and over the past year, I've managed over 100 million Naira in ad spend across brands in different marketing capacities. That might not seem like much, but working with different brands gives you access to business mechanics, bottlenecks, and solutions. So I said let's approach things from a fundamental standpoint. Let's think in extremes. If you had the cure for death, would you need to run ads? I mean, a single pill that prevents death from all causes. It's proven, it's affordable, it's side effect free. People will find you before you launched. News networks will run your story. Your cost per click will functionally be zero. You wouldn't need a media team. You wouldn't even need a brand strategy. The cure for death represents a product with perfect product market fit. It solves a universal problem that is undeniable. Your marketing says this product exists. Every product exists on a spectrum, from the cure for death to nobody really needs this. You can call this the PMF index. Where a product sits on this spectrum determines how effective ads are for your business. Now, if we strip advertising to its most fundamental action, what you're doing is you're reaching a person. Forget platforms, forget algorithms. You're putting your products in front of a human being. Everything else from influencers, from meta campaigns, these are all just mechanisms for doing just that one thing. Now, once you accept this, a very logical hierarchy of questions follows. Are we reaching the right person, which is your product market fit? And what exactly are we showing this person? How are you framing the product in the person's mind? Are you offering discounts? What's the pricing like? What's the framing like? If you're offering discounts, is this helping or hurting your brand, right? Bucketing your thinking this way, reach right person, what you're showing them, it's how you stop guessing or hoping when it comes to running ads. Now, let me introduce a frame that changes the way you think about all of this. Fundamentally, there are two types of products that exist. There are products that are nice to have, and there are products that are cures. This goes back to the ideal concept we spoke about, the cure for death and not needing this at all. Every product sits on this spectrum. Depending on where your product sits on this spectrum will determine how you approach marketing. So basically what we're trying to see here is what game you're playing. The products on the far end of the spectrum, which are the products that are cures, you're talking about revolutionary products. This type of product do not need any form of marketing. Now, it does seem like we're going on different tangents here, but I'm trying to create a mindset shift, right? If you understand what game you're playing, you'd understand how to approach marketing the right way, as opposed to going into the dashboard, the ads manager, tweaking things. That might not be necessarily the right move, right? Definitely you need to optimize your campaign, but that might not be the issue you're facing. You might be priced incorrectly, the offer might be wrong. So there are a lot of factors that goes into why an ad might not be working. It might not just be what's behind the ads manager. The brands that are winning at paid media understands what game they are playing. You're either ready to position your product as a commodity, charge the same as the market, but you're willing to dog it out. You're willing to accept thin margins. You're willing to go aggressive on marketing. So you're doing direct response marketing at this point. You need to understand what marketing you're in, or you're charging above market prices and you're positioning your brand as more of the luxury end. Brands like Gentle Monster, Loewe are just showing you, these are just examples to show you where the bar is at right now in terms of what you need to be doing marketing wise. We look at Gentle Monster. Gentle Monster sells the average glasses are around $300. At this point for glasses, you're no longer selling the function of the product, right? You're selling something else. if you go through their website, for every product they drop, there's word, there's narrative building, there's different concepts around the product itself, right? So people buying into this product, they are buying into this world. They are buying into belonging into this category, right? People see you wearing a Gentle Monster glass, they recognize it. Oh, this guy, if you know, that type of thing now. For Louis V, the same thing, right? These guys are selling something different. Then the product itself has transcended just the mere product, right? So it's something else. It's a feeling, it's an identity, it's a sense of belonging. That's what they are selling, right? So in that sense, the product itself has transitions from just a nice to have to something, depending on your needs, could be a need for you, right? Because they are no longer just selling glasses, they are selling something else. That's why they could price their product way above market price, right? So that's what you need to be thinking about. That's the game you're actually playing. So before you look at your metrics on the ads manager, you need to understand what games you're actually playing. If you're going to position your brand, you're going to charge above market prices. This is what the brands at that level are doing. Right now, you might not have Gentle Monster's budget, you might not have Louis V's budget, but AI has actually made it very easy to be able to bring up this concept, create this type of worlds around your brand, right? This idea of world building narratives around what you're doing is what you need to be thinking of when it comes to positioning your brand this way. So I'll still do more deep dive on different brands, or if you want me to actually analyze real metrics, I feel like those are secondary. This is like the primary basis for knowing what game you're playing. Once you understand what game you're playing, you understand how to approach marketing the right way, I don't think you'll have any issues when it comes to running ads for your brand.